Today we're going to show you how to make a quail feeder for their food out of some old juice bottles. First, we're just going to cut a hole. We're using a 2-inch hole saw. That's a 51 millimeter for everyone else in the world that's not in America. And we're just going to cut a hole right here on this groove. Go ahead, Cohen. Just kind of center that, and then get after it. There you go. And the quicker you go, the less jagged this edge will be. And any little burrs that are along here, you can either file off, pull off, or even just use like a heat gun and melt them down so that that's smooth so that it doesn't cut their little necks. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is there's kind of a little indentation here from about here to here where they wrap the label around. I use that as a guide mark, and I try to cut right along this edge here, and we're just going to cut this top portion off to where only this is left behind. Go ahead, Cohen. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take the other full bottle and we're going to insert it upside down into here with the lid on, because the lid will actually act as a guide to let you know how far to push it, because it's going to touch the inside of this indentation piece here, and if you push it in too far, none of the food will come out. If you push it up too high, all the food will come out. So using that lid as a guide works really well. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to burn 2 holes here. You can use a wood burning kit or a soldering iron or even a drill. Go ahead and burn those holes there. Just kind of go to that groove and just 1 hole right through the middle, and then roll it over and do the other side real quick. Same spot. There you go, good job. And then what we use, just because we happen to have a bunch of them, are these pegboard hangers. Because they are stiff and they're long enough to go all the way through the bottle. You could probably use some kind of baling wire or maybe like a skewer or something like that. But this works really well, and you're just going to poke it through the hole like this, and it's going to go all the way through, and that's going to support the weight of this bottle that will be full of your bird seed that you're feeding your quail or whatever you're using this for, and keep this from going in, and it also keeps it from coming loose and all the seed going everywhere. So just kind of poke that through there, and go ahead and take the lid off, I guess, so you can kind of see how it's going to work. But basically what you'll do is you'll just fill this part up with all your feed, and then while it's upright, you just push this down over the top. And then these holes are lined up in such a way that this gap will allow the feed to come out between that indentation here and the lip of the jar without too much getting out, but it allows them to eat the feed that kind of goes up to, the feed will fill up to about this line right here, so they can reach in there and get that really easy. And then you just put that through there, and that helps hold that in place. To keep the weight of this from shoving that down too far, or if they knock this over, because it gets a little top heavy sometimes, if they knock this over, it keeps this from coming apart and then the seed spilling out everywhere. But it'll set like that, and then this will be full of food, and then you just set it up like that, and then they'll stick their little heads in and they can peck right from there. And that's how you make it out of 2 free juice jugs.